So one thing I will say about Velma is that there has been like this weird kind of, I don't want to call it a divide because obviously everybody hates the show, but there's this weird thing going on with a lot of media articles being written by these writers that just have no sense of humor whatsoever. It's kind of strange because you're going to have people who will literally I'll give you an example. You have people who walk into a comedy show, and when they walk into an adult comedy show late at night and they want to go there and get mad at what someone said in a joke. It's weird because you should know what's coming. You should know what's being set up, right? Like when you go to an adult comedy show, you should know what's going on. So the same thing could be said for people who want to write articles basically trying to talk about how offensive the jokes are in Velma, which is labeled supposedly, even though I don't think it's very funny, it's labeled as an adult comedy show, right? An adult comedy show. So why would you go watch an adult comedy show and then get mad at some of the jokes that are in there? You should know what's happening from a show that's rated TVMA. I mean, am I crazy? I don't really know. But now we have an article coming from good old Yahoo Entertainment. And of course, you guys already know what the deal is with Yahoo Entertainment. Yahoo Entertainment is obviously a show media website. And when it says from this person, Rachel Schufelt, which, I mean, listen, I can click her picture all day long and you can pretty much guess. You guys know what I'm saying. It's always the same kind of people. But the article says Velma angers viewers with harmful sickle cell joke. So apparently jokes are harmful. Of course, this is the same side of people that want to convince you that jokes are violence or even that words are violence and you can get canceled just for simply saying something. It says HBO Max's Velma only debuted 2 weeks ago, and the updated Scooby-Doo tune is already facing criticism over a joke in the first episode. I mean, we're 6 episodes in. Why are you making an article about a joke in the first episode? Why would it take you this long to do it? I don't understand. Like, you should have made this article weeks ago. It's kind of weird. It says when Velma Dinkle... So I said this on stream, but this is shill media websites for you, okay? Shill media websites, and I don't mean to defend Velma, but shill media websites can't even get the last name of Velma correct, okay? Obviously, it's Velma Dinkley, but they call it Velma Dinkle. So, I mean, like, come on, man. If you're going to write an article like this and you're going to try to garner sympathy and you're going to try to pretend like you're on the other side of the moral high ground or you hold the moral high ground, can you at least try to get the character's name right that you're talking about? I mean, that's the least you can do, right? It says the main character in the adult animation series, which, once again, she realizes that this is an adult animation series, an adult show. I want to make that very clear. About the origins of the future member of the Mystery Incorporated gang, encounters Fred Jones. He makes an excuse for not having remembered Velma's name. I have a disease where I can't recognize people who aren't hot, he says. My doctor says it's basically sickle cell for rich people. Is it called rudeness? Mindy Kaling, the voice of Velma and an executive producer on the show, quips. Then Fred, voiced by Glenn Howerton, answers earnestly, it is. You're like smart. Not many viewers were laughing. Now, I'll give you one thing, okay, Rachel? I'll give you one thing. Not many people are laughing at this show. That's the whole point, right? Like, people don't like this show. It's universal. This show has united literally the entire planet at this point. However, for you to, once again, try to attack an adult-themed show or what is supposed to be an adult-themed show and get mad over a joke inside of that adult-themed show, then that goes to tell me that you're not really supposed to be watching something like this. Like, you're very clearly unable to handle it. You should probably stay away from adult anything at this point because you have the maturity of a child, apparently. It must be true because you went into this knowing full well what it was going to be and then decided to get mad to the point where you have to write an entire article about this and then pretend like you have people who agree with you because of a couple of lunatics on Twitter who want to get offended the same way you do. It's like, what are you doing? It says, what might have started out as a harmless joke turned out to be a show a lack of empathy, compassion for, and knowledge of sickle cell disease, one advocate tweeted. Yeah, it's always that one advocate. It's always like one or two advocates that want to come out and then they want to write a whole article about those one or two advocates. I'm sure that's going to be the case. It says another added to associate sickle cell to rudeness is extremely harmful. Let's read this guy's tweet because I want to read this guy's tweet because I read it on stream and it blew my mind. This guy says that this makes absolutely no sense, and to associate sickle cell to rudeness is extremely harmful. Sickle cell patients are disproportionately impacted by racism and bias due to the majority of us in the US being black, and this definitely isn't helping the issue. My man Andre, Marcel Harris, MSW, let me say that again. My man Andre decided it was a great idea to bring racism into a discussion about sickle cell, a discussion about a disease. clearly, I don't know if anybody knows this, but viruses do not attack people based on skin color. It's actually kind of insane to come out and try to pretend like sickle cell is a disease based on racism. What world do you live in? You must be so absolutely protected. You look so comfortable in this profile picture that it makes me wonder, how crazy could you possibly be to think this? You really brought this up. He really did that. I mean, seriously. According to the CDC, and of course Yahoo Entertainment's going to double down, this white liberal who wrote this is absolutely ecstatic to call something racist. Sickle cell disease is a group of inherited red blood cell disorders which affect the shape of the cells that carry oxygen throughout the body. As a result, the patient faces a constant shortage of red blood cells, which can result in severe pain and other serious health complications. About 100,000 Americans, mostly black Americans, are affected. The CDC estimates that it occurs 1 out of every 365 black or African American births. The nonprofit organization Sickle Cell 101, which is dedicated to education on the topic, asked followers for their thoughts. They answered that they found the Velma mention terrible, offensive, and not funny at all. Well, the thing is, that's the thing with jokes, right? So jokes go into two different sectors, right? Jokes go into light jokes, and jokes go into dark humor. So you have one or the other, right? So clearly not every joke is going to be meant for everybody. A joke is literally like the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You're going to find certain things funny, and you're going to find certain things not funny. But just because you found it not funny doesn't mean that someone else didn't find it funny. And here's the problem I have with this. If it's either everything's allowed or nothing's allowed, I'm always going to be in that camp when it comes to jokes. So if you're allowed to joke about something but not another thing, that's not fair. That'll never be fair. That's picking and choosing what you're allowed to make fun of and what you can't, and making somebody into a protected class. I'm not for that. That's not how comedy is supposed to be. So either you can make fun of everything and let it fall into one or two categories, light or dark humor, or you can't make fun of nothing. That's basically my thought on that. It's either everything or nothing. But of course, they're going to find a reason to get offended anyway because it allows them to virtue signal online. It says reps for HBO Max and Kaling did not immediately respond to Yahoo Entertainment's request for comment. I wouldn't either. But the backlash isn't the show's only challenge. On review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, Velma has earned a paltry 42% on 33 reviews. Meanwhile, the show's audience score, based on more than 10,000 viewer reviews, sits at just 6%. Still, ratings have been better. The Wrap reported January 25th that the show had seen a 127% increase in demand in the previous week. Okay, so this 127% thing, I made a video on this debunking this. This 127% has nothing to do with the viewership. It doesn't mean that they gained 127% in viewership. It literally just means that they were searched and they were in demand, supposedly, quote unquote, in demand, 127% more than the week before. Basically meaning they were factoring in social media searches, Google searches, YouTube clicks, all that stuff. Like anything that affects in demand for a certain name, that's what they searched, and that's what they included in the analytics. This show has not revealed its actual viewership. It's the only show that hasn't done so on HBO Max so far. The Last of Us has come out for now 3 episodes, and they released their viewership after the first episode because, of course, it was a lot. They were proud of it, but they're not proud of Velma's viewership, so they're not going to release it. Not until the very end, or at least until a third-party website releases it for them. So if they don't talk about their numbers right away, then you know for a fact that they messed up. You know for a fact the show is bombing, because if it wasn't bombing, they would be very proud to mention it right away, just like The Last of Us. So I thought this article was pretty stupid, honestly, and it just, when they mentioned the whole racism thing, that just blew my absolute mind. I'm telling you, like, I can't believe that they literally went down that route, and then Rachel Schufelt took it upon herself to just double down on it and said, hell yes, Slay Queen, let's make sickle cell racist. It's so crazy. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out. Great.